morning. And my sister Sandra's taking care of me, going to get me down there to the surgical center, get me back home, take care of me for a few days. So shout out to my big sister Sandra.
Johnny, we will all be thinking of you tomorrow. That will help you in the long run, but in the short term, you'll have a couple of tough days, as you know. But you be well, and it was so great to see you. We will take a break. We still have one more hour to go. We're coming right back.
We expect our information in real time. US Med carries continuous glucose monitors, which provide real-time readings of blood glucose levels. US Med is an approved provider for Medicare and over 500 private insurers. So call 888-665-0696 today for a free insurance and Medicare benefits check as easy as that's 888-665-0696.
Life insurance. Why are you putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Think you don't need it? There's lots of excuses for putting off life insurance. But if you weren't there, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With Ethos, you could be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at ethos.com/game. That's ethos.com/game.
This is Paul Feinbaum. That'll do it for me today. Coming up next, The Drive with Wes Neighbors and Steve Moulton on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
I'm Jeff Jr., founder and CEO of Trajan Wealth. I was born and raised in northern Wisconsin by both my father, who owned a small 10-lane bowling alley, and my mother, who was a nurse, who did her best caring for everyone in our small town. My parents stressed with me that if you were going to do anything, it needed to be done right or not done at all. I later joined the Marine Corps, where additional values were instilled. Values like honor, courage, and commitment. The motto of the Marine Corps, Semper Fi, which means always faithful. The best part of Trajan Wealth, our 100-plus employees who also embrace the exact same values. If your current financial advisor is more interested in selling you something or is more loyal to their own financial gain than yours, give us a call for a second opinion. We would be honored to hear from you. Call Trajan today. 256-208-9000. That's 256-208-9000.
Advisory services offered through Trajan Wealth LLC, an SEC-registered investment advisor.
Hey folks, this is Arthur Seaton, managing partner at University Kia, proudly saying Roll Tide and War Eagle. Stop into University Kia today and shop one of the area's largest selection of new Kias, including Fortes, Seltos, Telluride, and Popular Carnival, and fully electric EV6. View all the great specials at universitykia.com and get pre-approved in minutes so you can drive home your new Kia you really want, because we want to see you in a University Kia.
Are you tired of power outages disrupting your life? It's time for a Generac standby generator from Current Electrical. Storms may rage outside, but inside your family's powered up. So why choose Current Electrical for your generator needs? 1, we offer a wide range of models to suit every budgeted energy requirement. 2, our project managers handle every step of the process: power, gas, permitting, and inspections. 3, our certified technicians install your generator with precision, ensuring peace of mind. Don't wait for the next blackout. Call 256-880-1880 or visit us online at jetsuperstore.com.
Hey there, Bob Baumhauer again. Baumhauer's Victory Grill is extremely proud to have recently received numerous awards, including being voted best wings in the state of Alabama. Other awards received include Best All-Around Restaurant, Best American Restaurant, #1 Sports Bar, Best Chef, Best Wings, and Best Dining Experience. Thank you for 43 legendary years, and we look forward to providing you an award-winning dining experience at every visit. Baumhauer's Victory Grill. Legendary fun, legendary food.
This is Steve Moulton for Tellini's Italiano. Tellini's Italiano is located right in front of the Walmart, right off of University, behind the McDonald's. More or less catty corner from Topgolf. It's one of my favorite places to go to, and if you go there, you know what I'm talking about. If you haven't, you need to try the baked spaghetti, add a meatball. Also try the baked ziti with meat sauce, add sausage. You'll thank me. Save room for some pizzas and paninis as well. And don't forget about dessert as well. The best cheesecake I have had here in North Alabama is at Tellini's Italiano. Find out for yourself today. That's Tellini's Italiano, right off of University Drive in front of the Walmart. Located online at Tellinis.com. That's TELLINIS.com. Let's get some Tellini's tonight.
And now a man who knows what you ate for breakfast.
Time now for the biggest thinker of them all.
He knows it all. He is Drew DeArmond. Listen to Drew and Scott Tyson weekday mornings. It's Talkin' Ball on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
But that never worked.
WCZN, Union Grove, Huntsville, Alabama. 97.7 ESPN, The Zone. This hour is brought to you by Woody Anderson Ford, Alabama's F-150 Superstore. Welcome to The Drive with Wes Neighbors and Steve Moulton. Call into the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline, 256-576-4977.
That's how I roll. And I'm not going to drink and drive anymore.
That's 256-576-4977. Now, here's Wes and Steve.
It is a Monday edition. Hang on. It is a Monday edition of The Drive. Oh, he's already coming over. That was me knocking.
That is the secret
That was me
handshake
knocking. Here. Well, you know, you never know.
Captain on the bridge.
We are awaiting our first guest right out of the gate, but we'll see whether or not
Mr. Big Time don't answer stuff.
If he is going to join us or not. But there was some news over the weekend, SEC-related news.
Come on, big fella.
One out, bottom of the ninth. Runner at first. Shores comes set. The 0-1. Ground ball towards Dickinson. Flips it to Milam. The relay to first in time. Tigers win. Tigers win for the second time in 3 seasons and the 8th time in program history. The Fighting Tigers reach the pinnacle. They stand alone atop the mountain. Your LSU Fighting Tigers, the 2025 college baseball national champions. 5-3 the final here in Omaha. They sweep the Chanticleers in 2 straight games. Isn't it great to have 8?
That is Christopher Blair there on the play-by-play call. How are you, Wes?
I'm doing good. Congratulations, LSU. Awesome that they won a national championship. And kind of after what happened in the, in the first couple rounds where there was so much hope to have a bunch of teams from the SEC and only ended up with 2, but to me, they were the 2 best teams.
Well, remember they got tested by UALR in a big way. LSU did, so much so that it took them to the brink of elimination. But, I mean, kudos to LSU and getting it done. And one thing that did not pop up that, frankly, that we did see, especially in the Auburn series, is sometimes that offense just went away. But that wasn't the case, really, over the last, during this run in particular.
Well, I think if you watched any baseball, the 2 best teams were Arkansas, LSU, and the Chanticleers. How do you say Chanticleers? Chanticleers.
Yeah,
I think those were the 3 best teams in the tourney.
Our baseball reporter is ghosting me right now. That is T-Bob Hebert.
Well, at least there's a change over here. Instead of go rolling over to voicemail, it just goes straight to voicemail.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, well, I saw, he ripped the shirt off when they beat Arkansas. Did you see that?
Yes, I did.
Yeah.
He is. I would like to believe that he is going to be our baseball beat reporter because
I wouldn't count on him. He's big dogging us. He's up there in Chicago.
He is now a full-blooded Northerner up there in Chicago.
Hey, Louis Grizzard only lasted 2 years.
That's why I gave him that book. I
give him 18 months. He'll be back.
One winner.
Yeah,
one winner.
He'll be catching crawfish again here shortly.
One winner. It's going to be like, goodness gracious, what have I gotten myself into here with
that keeping your car when you go get gas is a big deal in Chicago.
Really?
Oh yeah. Yeah. It's a different place up there, no doubt.
So congratulations to LSU, and I mean, pretty spectacular for Jay Johnson to have 2 titles in 4 years already there. But heading in to this championship round, there was only one college team, at least from what I read, that had beaten both Coastal Carolina and LSU, and that was the Alabama Crimson Tide. So, but it's about when you beat them, and so we'll see what happens here in the future there for the Alabama baseball team as they're trying to make their way to Omaha, back to Omaha, I should say. We are walking you up to Braves baseball. There's a Braves baseball team that can sweep the Mets, but then lose 2 out of 3 to the Marlins. So that, and also getting the news that Chris Sale is injured. He was trying to do the complete game, and when he spread out and bounced on the ground, well, 2 broken ribs. Oof. So, yeah. He has arguably been the best pitcher over the last month in Major League Baseball, but now he is
well, you know, the Braves are just don't have the pep in their step that they had in the previous years, and it's obvious when you watch them. And that's why they're inconsistent. They look like they're just tired. That's what they look like, a tired baseball team.
Evidently, T-Bob is peppering me pretty good right now, and he was not aware that I wanted him live at 5 o'clock, even though,
you know we're in the same time zone as Chicago.
Yeah. Could we talk today at 5 o'clock? Yes, sir, I got you, was the response. And evidently, he's just getting up from a nap.
You know, funny thing about 5 o'clock, it happens the same time every day.
Doesn't it? So, walking up to Braves and Mets, and incidentally, coming up tomorrow, we will be on the road over at Woody Anderson Ford. And it was a week ago today that was the Woody Anderson Ford Rocket City Awards presented by the fine folks over at the Huntsville Sports Commission.
What a great night.
It really was. And that was a week ago over at Mars Music Hall, and a big congratulations to all the winners. But there has been one title sponsor throughout this is the 3-year history of the event, and it is Woody Anderson Ford. So if you're in the market for a new or used vehicle, just head on over to WoodyAndersonFord.com. We will be there tomorrow.
Great place to get your car serviced, too.
Yes, indeed. So, nonetheless, that is really appreciate Bobby White and the fine folks over there at Woody Anderson Ford. And now that we are officially in summer, trust me, Mother Nature has made it abundantly clear that it is summertime here in North Alabama. Head on over, schedule that service appointment. They can come to you as well. If you don't want to get out in the heat, they can head your direction. Just head over to the website at WoodyAndersonFord.com and then schedule a service appointment, and away you go there as well.
Obviously, my neighbor behind me made that same choice.
Okay.
Was out there getting her vehicle serviced.
That's
and she's a lady who has some limited mobility. It's a great thing. if you got folks in your family that, still can get around okay, but just have trouble getting out and getting things, getting their car service, stuff like that, that's a great thing you can do. Take care of them for that.
So now we will try to catch up with T-Bob, I'm guessing, another time. But it's always...
Now you know why I say scheduled to appear.
Yeah. Anyway, let me try to pivot from that because wanted to get T-Bob on because he was there in Omaha. And I'll tell you what, let me get my bearings straight here. Let's take an early timeout. Phone line's obviously open to you at 256-576-4977. Yeah. We got T-Bob.
You're listening to The Drive with Wes Neighbors and Steve Moulton on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
All good things must come to an end. That holds true for employee pricing, too. Hey, folks, it's Bobby White back again for Woody Anderson Ford. The last day for employee pricing is going to be July 7th. Up until then, you can buy the new Ford you want and pay what we pay. We've got nearly 150 F-150s to choose from with generous finance rates and the best deals of the year on America's best-selling truck for 48 years in a row. Had your eye on a Bronco Sport? It's employee priced, and we've got over 60 to choose from. Full-size Bronco, we've got over 40. New shipments of Explorer, Expedition, and Escape have just hit the ground, too. Again, all things must come to an end, and the last day for employee pricing is July 7th. Time to hit it and get it. Employee pricing can save you up to thousands off MSRP. With over 600 Fords to choose from, there's a good chance you'll find exactly what you need. Woody Anderson Ford. It's important to see us before July 7th.
By now, you know about Eagle Masonry and Insulation, and maybe you know that Eagle also does landscaping and dirt work. But how about after paint work? Shower doors, shelving, and mirrors, all taken care of by Eagle, the same Eagle that takes care of all your masonry, insulation, and landscaping needs. Eagle brings the same level of expertise to all these disciplines, and they're ready to provide you with a free quote. The website is the same, insulatewitheagle.com, as is the phone number, 256-755-1556. Give them a call and see what Eagle can do for you. Eagle saves you time. Eagle saves you money.
Tom Abraham here for my friends at Your Home Window Company. When it comes to replacement windows, exterior doors, or new window screens, Your Home Window is the answer anywhere in Huntsville, Athens, Decatur, or Hartselle. Your Home Window windows and doors are made here in the USA and come with a lifetime warranty. When replacing those old windows or doors, Your Home Window has the solution for you. In-home estimates are always free and financing is available. Learn more at yourhomewindow.com and see clearly with Your Home Window. Visit yourhomewindow.com to make an appointment today.
Our customers want best-in-class solutions. That's why we recently added many new vendors like Zebra barcode printers. Our next level team has added premier automation solutions. We're not here to sell you just one product, and we love helping you find the right solution to your specific needs. That's what doing the right thing is all about, and that's why our customers have come back for over 50 years.
SportsMed is the official team physicians of the Rocket City Trash Pandas. And if the pros trust SportsMed, you can too. SportsMed provides every service you might need for complete orthopedic care, specializing in orthopedic surgery, sports medicine, joint replacement, spine surgery, neurosurgery, and podiatry. And they offer their own brace shop, in-house full-body MRI, physical therapy, walk-in clinic, and so much more. 4 locations and on the web at sportsmedalabama.com.
Flying nonstop from Huntsville is a breeze on Breeze Airways. They're nice people flying nice people to nice places on really nice planes. Let's be direct. Nonstop from Huntsville to the places you want to go. Las Vegas, Orlando, or Tampa starting at $49. It's time for a weekend getaway or a long overdue week away. Time to check in using the convenient Breeze app and check out. What are you waiting for? Book today at flybreeze.com. That's flybreeze.com. Breeze Airways. Seriously nice.
This segment of The Drive is brought to you by Woody Anderson Ford, located online at woodyAndersonFord.com with 2 locations, Hughes Road in Madison and Jordan Lane in Huntsville.
Back here with you on this Monday edition of The Drive. 256-576-4977, the telephone number. We are now in the rearview mirror for both NHL and NBA. As boy, that was
So I didn't watch the NBA, game 7.
Yeah.
Of course, I kept up with it, but Halliburton ruptured his Achilles.
Yeah.
He probably won't play next year then.
No, he's done for a solid year. It was confirmed this afternoon.
But he had a leg injury too, right?
He did.
Was it on the same leg?
It was on the same leg, and
it's just
stressed it, and then that's a tough deal
he
right there.
He had he wasn't his Achilles originally. Right?
No, it was not.
Was it his calf?
Yes.
Yeah.
So yeah. I mean, same neighborhood.
And then you see, this could be career. I mean, you hope not with today's, but a lot of people aren't the same when they tear a tendon like that.
Well, and Halliburton does a lot of side to side, not just north and south.
How old is he?
He is still a young guy. I'll look it up.
Younger the better.
Yes. But nonetheless, it was. It wasn't from a basketball fan point of view, maybe not the funnest game to watch last night there in OKC, but nonetheless, even with a 1-point lead at halftime, and I'm sure they were, he's 25 years old, by the way. Tyrese Halliburton is 25 years old, but I just, there's a lot of teams that make that run to the NBA Finals and never do it again. I can think of the Suns immediately, but it just, the way the West is lined up, as a long-suffering Atlanta Hawks fan, boy, the East is there for the taking. And if Indiana proved anything, it's that you've got a shot. You can put yourselves in a situation for a shot at an NBA title because you're not going through the West. So, but it's a case where the West got even harder with what the Houston Rockets, what they picked up there. It's the West is going to be brutal yet again beginning this fall. And I think that makes the East there for the taking because the Achilles injury popped up several times during this NBA playoffs, and it really changed the direction of the Boston Celtics there with another one that wears the jersey number 0 there for the Boston Celtics. So a tough ending there for Indiana, but congratulations. I do wonder what Supersonics fans feel today because that was their team. Owners moved it to Oklahoma City, and Kevin Durant just referenced him going to Houston. He was originally drafted by Oklahoma City / Seattle back in the day, but it's
probably have another protest there.
Probably. So anyway, 256-576-4977, the telephone number. And I am communicating now with someone else who is, at least I'm explaining it to the voice of the LSU Tigers. We just got through listening to his final call there up in Omaha, and what I can only imagine how it looked very warm up there in Omaha. It
looked like they're in Louisiana. Probably felt like it too. Yes.
So we'll hopefully hear from Christopher Blair. I'll give you the heads up here momentarily, but this is the time in particular where broadcasters, play-by-play broadcasters, want to work as long as possible for that short turnaround. And it's another opportunity for Chris Blair to have another long broadcast season and ultimately culminates with another national championship, the 8th in the history of the program for the LSU Tigers. But here we go into this short off season and then get ready for Atlanta, which is less than a month away for SEC football media days. And then here we go back into another football season, although we are sneaking up. Tomorrow is a week from tomorrow is July 1st. And that is when the first checks will be cut for players from universities. And we're here. And the other big news that I thought was significant from over the weekend, we saw the University of Wisconsin sue the University of Miami over tampering with a player. So it just dive a little bit more into that story, because these clauses in these contracts, what
about them putting a hold on half the money at the because of why? Title IX. Who said that was going to happen? So nothing's settled. Everybody was hoping the settlement, and what's settled is these guys are going to try to follow that thing because it gives them some framework. But even it's on hold now. So
yeah,
we'll see what ends up happening. It's going to be interesting.
It's why I went there with John Cohen that Monday after of multiple years for players in a contract, just for this scenario.
Yeah, well, it's going to be, from what I understand, that they're going to sign 2-year contracts.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm talking about the past people. So the way they were going to do it, breaking up all this money that they had to put up, was they were going to they're paying the players from 2013 till today, basketball and football players.
I thought it was 2016, but I mean,
it might be. Yeah, it's
but
anyway, it was the day after. It was the year after Connor. Whenever it was, it's the year after Connor was played. Last year he played, of course. So that's the way it works. Yeah. So, but then they're giving these players based on how much they played and marketing value. Okay, so everybody's getting something. Even some walk-ons, supposedly. That's what I hear anyway. Some rumors. So I'll believe when I see it. But what's happened is, instead of paying out this money, they agreed. A lot of people had gotten their worth. Like, there was a former center for Alabama getting $230,000. But now that's been put on hold because of there's a lawsuit for Title IX because the girls aren't getting any of that money.
That's right.
So they put it on hold. So this is just all this is. Who knows how long that'll take? Years. So
yeah, this is for the past players getting compensation. Checks are going to still get cut a week from tomorrow for players that are on campus and moving forward. So that's
because the schools are paying it.
That's right. Those schools that have opted in.
But this could end up derailing that before it's over with. So we'll see what happens.
Well, checks are going to get cut, and it just
checks have been getting cut.
Well, but it's going to have a different. It's going to be university, but these contracts, and that's what led me into that story of Wisconsin suing Miami over a player. Just the portal has been called the Wild Wild West, and I'm thinking, the more we head down this path with these contracts, that the portal may not be as big of an issue moving forward. And we even heard John Cohen say it to us of it's not going to be all the players, probably just the elite ones, that you're going to secure what you have, which leads me to believe that seeing high-profile players will happen from time to time. But I think it's going to happen less moving forward. We'll see. I'm guessing, but The portal feels like it's not going to be as big of an issue, even if they do reel it back in to one portal period over two portal periods. Sure, there'll be quote unquote free agency period for college football, just like there is in all the sports in the NCAA. But it has tampering has been a big issue in college football, and there has been really no way to reel that back until these contracts have now started to reel that back in as well. So that out there as well, if you'd like to chime in, 256-576-4977 is the telephone number if you'd like to participate. There is another bold prediction here from Ari Wasserman predicting the college football playoff 12-team format, believing, let's see here, does have Alabama making the playoff, does Ari Wasserman.
So I talked to a scout not long ago, and he said that Alabama has the best team in the conference, talent-wise.
Well, there was also
which I was shocked to hear. I was blown away by that. He's been to all the practices. He says Alabama has the best talent. That's hard to believe for me.
That's a big statement.
Yeah, because to me the defensive line has a chance to be good, but it's not like, to me, they're not all number one draft picks like Georgia was and Alabama was back in 10 years ago, where they had all those guys. I don't see that. Now, I think they got some people that'll play, don't get me wrong, in the NFL, but they're not going to be first-round draft picks. And then you look at the offensive line, and, yeah, there's some good players, but are there any top picks there? Yeah, maybe one, So I just kind of look. That's how I judge. Now, all the other things around them, and I think the quarterback has a chance to be really good. And if he comes through, then I can see him making the playoffs and maybe making a run. But being dominant and all that, with their schedule, I just think it's going to be a tough road to hoe. But it's interesting to hear this though, because it's not what I expected to say that.
What were you expecting?
Them to be in the top four, but not to have a scout tell you they have the most talent. Should be their year, right?
We'll find out.
Yeah,
it's also going to be a lot of expectations, I would imagine, for LSU this fall as well. But nonetheless, Chris Blair is kind enough to join us here inside our first hour of on a Monday here on The Drive. Just another ho-hum weekend there for you, Chris. I appreciate you calling in.
No problem. Yeah. Just a run-of-the-mill, almost 2 weeks in Omaha. But, it ends the way you want it to end, where you play your final game, you come off the diamond victorious. And that's exactly what Jay Johnson and his Tigers have done here. And it's quite amazing. Second time in 3 seasons and 8th national title overall for the program.
Unreal. Hotter in Omaha or in Baton Rouge from your experiences?
Yeah, we were about even today when we got back with the team earlier this afternoon. But I'm told that on Friday and Saturday that it was actually hotter based on feels like temperature in Omaha than it was in Baton Rouge.
So I've been to a lot of Alabama games and LSU games, having sons play for both, and having what's interesting to me is they've stayed in the Marriott in Atlanta. I think Steve's been in. So I've been with Alabama, and I was last time I was there with LSU, they ran out of alcohol in the hotel. Is there any alcohol left in Omaha is my question.
Well, that's what we were all laughing about it earlier in the week because, LSU fans have done that to some pretty good sized cities. They did it in 19 at a couple of the hotels in Atlanta. They've done it in Orlando. But I think Omaha learned its lesson because, that town It's really true. I mean, everywhere I went, people that I ran into from Omaha, as soon as they recognized my LSU gear, they would immediately say, "Oh, we're so glad you guys are back." It's just not the same when LSU's not here. And that was the 20th appearance all time, with 8 titles now. And they put guys in Cooperstown with batting averages not as high as that. So I think it's kind of a mutual love for the College World Series on behalf of LSU, and it's a mutual love of Omaha. And I think the passion that LSU fans have, they came up in one wave, then a second wave, and then once we got to this past weekend in the title series, then that final and third wave, and
it looked like a home game. Yeah, it looked like a home game.
Yeah, no, it sounded like it. Both games, Saturday and Sunday. I mean, it was. You might as well have been over at the box here in Baton Rouge.
Well, I will tell you, though, right out of the gate, Arkansas, it seemed like attended you guys in that first game. It really felt that way to me. Did that surprise you at all, Chris?
No, again, I mean, yeah, and you would be right. Yeah, the Arkansas fans were there, and we kind of knew that. But again, this is the third time that I have been blessed to travel with LSU baseball to Omaha, and it's the third time we've stayed and reached the championship series. Lost to Florida in 17, beat Florida in 23, and then beat Coastal Carolina this weekend. And again, I've learned there's wave one. You stay in the winner's bracket. Okay, there comes another wave. If you lose that first game and then you get to the stay alive game and you win that one, okay, then comes the second wave. And then once you get to the weekend and you get to the championship series, it doesn't matter who they're playing, Arkansas, Tennessee, doesn't matter. Unless they can beat them to the tickets, there's going to be more LSU fans there. And again, we saw that in 23. Florida is certainly a great program, and it was a home game in all 3 of those championship games.
So were you surprised by the ejections?
I was, but it's interesting because I got a different take. I mean, I've done a number of interviews today when we got up this morning, and it's a very good question. And I think sometimes it depends on which color shades you're looking through, whether it's purple and gold, or in this case, teal and black. But we have a head of umpires in the SEC, does a great thing for all of us broadcasters that cover the SEC. And usually in early February, before the start of every season, they put us all on a Zoom call, and we get to hear about any updated rules or any changes, or what the emphasis, if there's more or less of something. And it's kind of an old joke that early on in that conversation every year is, and guys, don't forget, profanity and arguing balls and strikes are the quickest way to get run. Yeah. And, when they tell you that over and over, I'm just a dumb radio broadcaster. I'm aware of that rule. Those are the 2 things that get you out. And you don't need both. One or the other will get you tossed based on the letter of the rule. And again, now you're at the mercy of, depending on who the umpire is and if there's any history or if there was something going on prior to that. So again, I say all that to say, I think both sides could have handled it better. I don't know that you want to go ballistic in the bottom of the first inning, a handful of pitches into the ball game with a 1-run deficit, with so much baseball to be played, and you've got a great season behind you, and you got to win the game. Again, probably was a quick trigger by the umpire, but if the dumb radio guy for LSU knows what the rules are, I'm well aware that I'm very sure that they were well aware of that as well.
One thing that I've seen, at least here and there, following you guys throughout the regular season, was occasionally the offense would miss a game here and there. I can think of the Auburn series in particular, but that did not happen here during this run. What do you think changed in terms of offensive output? Not saying that you guys scored double digits every single game, but nonetheless, the offense didn't seem to be as big of an issue.
Yeah, no, I think they certainly, went up quite a few notches in the postseason, offensively. But, one of the interesting things about this team, and everything you just said is absolutely spot on correct. But one of the interesting things is when you take a look at statistical categories offensively, LSU's in the top 5% across the board of all the stats you would want to look at. But the difference, I think, and this may sound odd, is I think it was the improving in the LSU pitching that actually made the difference. And here's what I mean by that. The Auburn series, LSU struck out, LSU popped out more times than I can count. They just got beat by the Auburn pitchers that weekend. LSU, on the other hand, had a weekend high in the SEC for free passes with hit batters and walks. So suddenly you really notice those games where LSU offensively, doesn't put up 6, 8, 10 runs. And that's, I think, how everybody felt coming away from that Auburn series. But I think the difference down the stretch was your offense had been really consistent over the life of the season when you really look at the numbers. But the fact was you had a confidence that you were going to win a game that might be 1-0 or 2-1 or 2-0 or 3-2. And that's because of what the pitching staff, not only Kate Anderson and Anthony Ianson, who were great all year, but the guys out of the bullpen. To me, the pitching took a lot of that focus off of the offense, so they didn't have to feel like they had to score 8 or more runs a game.
All right, I'm giving you the call to start a pitcher, and I think you know where I'm going. Anderson or Skeens? Who you putting the ball in the hands of?
You know what? That's another conversation a bunch of us had on the team plane coming back before we took off. Because when you compare what those guys did, over the life of their season, what Kay did this year, what Paul did in 2023, and you look at the numbers and you look at the strikeouts and you look at the strikeout to walk ratios, and then you see their performances in big games, with a complete game shutout victory in the College World Series, which I think is only the 3rd or 4th time that's been done since the most recent change to the format. So that's in rarefied air for Kate Anderson.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to filibuster the answer, as you probably can tell.
Yeah.
But I got to tell you, I mean, from guys I know who have spent a number of years, former Tigers that now live in Baton Rouge, that spent years at the highest level of baseball, they will tell you that Paul Skeens is an absolute freak of nature. Who had the better season in their final year for the Tigers? I think it was Kate Anderson. But if you're asking me to go get an out and I got to hand the ball to one of these guys, based on what I'm watching Paul do every night in Major League Baseball, tells me right now I'm gonna hand it off to Paul.
Oh, I thought you were talking about his girlfriend.
Oh wow!
No,
oh wow!
Oh hey now.
I think he won that battle.
Moving on. It's also a big fall for the football team. I got to at least ask a temperature question on it. That it feels like the expectations are once again pretty high there for Brian Kelly.
Yeah, I think the expectations are high, and I'll give Coach Kelly and his staff a compliment here. Obviously, at LSU, I mean that's kind of there are certain standards every single year, like there are at a number of SEC schools, and so the pressure's already built. We already know that. Now you have a season where you come off of it. The season before, you had one of the best offenses in modern college football, and that's putting it in the same category as that 2019 team as far as the efficiency and the ability to score points. But you couldn't stop a nosebleed defensively, and again a 10-win season, but no college football playoff. So then you get to last year. Well, when you really kind of rebuilding a little bit, to be honest, in some key positions, you step back a little bit in the eyes of the fans. So the expectations are very high. The difference is, and the compliment I wanted to give to the coaching staff was that the issues that everybody, including Coach Kelly, publicly talked about were addressed from top to bottom, from staffing to recruiting to evaluation, and ultimately to portal gets in the off season, as well as the development of the guys who are returning from last year. And that's defensively. So I think there's this feeling that, the pressure's on. Second year of the expanded playoffs, LSU's supposed to be there. And if they're not, it's going to be a disappointing year. But having said that, knowing what has been missing, and consistently over Coach Kelly's time here, offense has not been the issue.
No.
So I think because that was heavily addressed and very publicly addressed, I think there's quite a bit of optimism, just simply because at least they went and corrected what everybody could tell were the deficiencies.
Well, and it's a big one right out of the gate, going from Death Valley to Death Valley. I mean, as much as people are talking LSU, from a national perspective, Clemson is winning the offseason, Chris.
Yeah, no, I think without question, probably Clemson, this will be, at least on paper as we sit here today. Having worked at Clemson, I still have a lot of friends who are there. And I mean, the optimism from them is very high. And this may be one of Dabo's better teams in a number of years. So without question, you're taking on one of the best teams assembled in 2025 right out of the gate on their field, Little Death Valley there in Clemson. So, yeah, I mean, again, this is going to be outside of the opener in 2019. LSU has played some pretty good programs to open the season. Not everybody does that. That's what the Tigers have decided to do since that 2019 season, which, oh, by the way, speaking of the 2019 team, that's the last time LSU won an opening game.
Yeah, I know it's been very well documented there on Whiskey and Wine, but I digress. At least on that front, but it's something else that Coach Kelly brought up down at the spring meetings. He was pretty boisterous of wanting 9 conference game plus a crossover with the Big Ten. He was I was down there covering it, Chris, and he was pretty vocal on what at least he wanted moving forward for all SEC schools.
No, I think that's I think that's where we're headed. And frankly, I'll be honest with you, since the switch to the 14 playoff and eventually expanding playoff, that's kind of been the one thing. And I understand reasons that the athletic directors and the SEC office and to some degree some coaches were against that. I understand, certainly valid points. But I think as we're starting to move to this, okay, first there were only 4 spots. Who decides who gets those 4? Do you have to be undefeated? Do you have to be a conference champion? How many Power 4 wins do you have on the season? Because playing a FCS or 1AA, and no offense, I spent 10 years, and that's a great brand of football. But I'm a little surprised that there's still some of those on a lot of these Power 4 school schedules, because I think everybody now is really looking into the calculations and the formula that are basing the decisions by this committee. And we've seen it the last couple of years, including the expanded year that we just finished up, where what are they looking at most? Why is this team who beat that team not in and that team is in? And I think that's where Coach Kelly's going. Like, guys, we got to go play the very best. Because right now, the way their schedules are played, when you're playing in a conference like the Big Ten or certainly the SEC, if you're Georgia, if you're Alabama, if you name it, doesn't matter who you are, you have a small margin of error if you've played an FCS school in week 1 or week 10 or week 11. So, I kind of see where Coach Kelly's coming from. I think that's from a fan standpoint, from a television revenue standpoint. I mean, these networks are going to want to have, Alabama versus Michigan, or Alabama versus Rutgers, and LSU versus whoever. I think they're going to want that more, because goodness knows the schools are going to keep saying next time around we got to get paid more. Yeah. And eventually I think that's where rubber meets road.
Well, from a jealousy standpoint, I know all play-by-play guys. I call games for a Division II school here in North Alabama. The goal is to work as long as possible. But taking a look at you over the last handful of years, you've been having a lot of long seasons, Chris, starting with football and then end it in Omaha. You've now done this twice, that they're in Omaha, coming back with the title in particular. But it's so is it at all draining, or is it all, tell me a little bit about your process, Chris.
No, I don't think it's draining at all. I mean, again, you're talking to a guy who grew up in eastern Kentucky, the coal mining country. And, for me to sit and complain or say it's a drain or a grind is, it sure beats coal mining, and that's no disrespect to coal miners. I just know how tough that job is. But it's kind of, sometimes I liken it to a round of golf. Maybe you haven't had your best game, or your putting's off, or whatever the case may be. You get to number 18, and you send one about 275, lays up perfect, center fairway. And you're like, you know what, guys, I got another 9. You guys got another 9, and that's kind of what happens when you're still kind of, on this emotional high of everything that's happened over the last, 8 to 9 days with LSU baseball on that stage and that atmosphere in that city with all that history and the 75th year of it being at, in Omaha, Nebraska. And then you're like, man, it stops, and it really comes to an absolute sudden halt, which is why, since coming to LSU, we don't plan anything as a family until after June 23rd or June 24th, and that's just how we roll. So as I told some of my colleagues today when we left the team plane, see you guys on campus mid-August.
So LSU was 1-8. How many appearances they had? Did you say 20?
Yeah.
Who has the most appearances and wins?
I believe it's Texas. I believe has the most wins, and I'm assuming that would be the most appearances. Although I don't know that. I just looked at this. They had it as part of the history there
right.
at the Schwab. But yeah, don't quote me on that. I think Texas and USC, actually Southern Cal, and maybe I'm missing a few. And I want to say LSU's 3rd or 4th with most ever. And I don't know that winning 8th moved them up. I think, but I think I think they're 3rd. But as I said to you earlier, if you've been there 20 times and you've won it 8 times, that batting average gets you in Cooperstown.
No question.
I have USC with the most finals appearances. That was the 9th finals appearance for LSU this go around, and Texas with 6 titles, and USC with 12 titles.
Okay. So I had them backwards. Yeah, it's USC. USC was in double digits, and so I guess that puts. So you had the list there, 1 through 5.
I've got USC with 12 titles, LSU with 8.
Yeah, with 8. Yeah,
and Texas with 6.
Look, I wasn't even giving our guys credit. They're second now. And I tell you what, with Jay Johnson, who I joked earlier in Omaha, speaking to some Tiger fans, and I said, guys, Jay Johnson is relentless. He's nonstop, 24/7. He's recruiting in the press conferences after games in Omaha. I mean, he just never stops. And I told some Tiger fans, I said, Nick Saban, when he was here at LSU, had way more hobbies than Jay Johnson. Jay has none. His summer vacations are going to be spent around following some of these Tigers who are going off to summer league. So expect him to maybe have a week up there in New England. And then, of course, being from North California, I'm sure he'll take some of the West Coast showcases in as well. So, I mean, it's all baseball all the time. So USC, I think the Tigers may be coming for you.
Well, I enjoy your break. I can't thank you enough for hopping on short notice. It's always enjoy listening to your call in the broadcast booth, Cam, as well as something that I go out of my way to listen to and watch as well. It's a lot of fun to watch.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised. I started doing that in 2018, just the pregame, and we did it on Facebook just to say, hey, let's use this 30-minute pregame show to then promote people to go listen to the radio. And then prior to first pitch, we would turn it off. And I want to say in 2018 or 2019 during baseball season, I forgot. I thought I hit the button and I didn't. And we had the whole booth on, and I thought, well, that's my bad. And then we realized, well, it didn't really matter because we're not showing the field. So the ESPN owns a lot, but they don't own the rights to our booth. And so, but I thought, I don't know why anybody would watch this. It's just us knuckleheads in there, looking foolish. But what I found out, guys, they're not watching us because of the chat and comment function. It's become its own message board in game, real time, and I realized that's why they've got kind of built their own little fan community around it. But I was stunned. We got back today. We did 5 games in Omaha, and the in the booth feed had a little under 600,000 views for 5 games.
Wow.
So again, I don't know why people watch it, but again, I think it's to get on there and chat and say, why did coach do this? And why don't he put this guy in? And that's cool. So we've just watched it grow since 2018 to where we are today at 2025.
Well, I'm one of those that watches. So it's fun to watch as well. And another terrific call. Enjoy your break, and it'll be football season before you know it, Chris. Thank you for calling.
Yeah. No problem, guys. I'm happy to join you anytime. And, let's talk later about mid-August. We'll talk a little LSU football.
Sounds good.
Sounds like a plan. Thank you, Chris.
All right, guys.
That's the voice of the Tigers, Chris Blair, kind enough to come in out of the bullpen, throw some heat. Are we taking a timeout now? We are taking a timeout now. Braves baseball is on deck. We're going to have a Tom Abraham segment next.
You're listening to The Drive with Wes Neighbors and Steve Moulton on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Tom Luganville here for my friends at Woody Anderson Ford. Bobby White and his team take great pride in their service department, and you can see it the moment you walk into those beautiful new service lanes. And just like a championship team, they all work together to make sure your experience is second to none, whether you drive a Ford or not. Also, check out the gold-certified pre-owned inventory at Woody Anderson Ford for great deals every day. Stop by and see them at Jordan and Sparkman or at Woody Anderson of Madison on Hughes Road, or visit WoodyAndersonFord.com.
Since 1983, Berkshire Hathaway Rise Real Estate's Ann Adams has been your local go-to real estate expert in the area. As a buyer, you can trust Ann's in-depth knowledge of the local housing market to narrow available properties down to those you'll be interested in, saving you time when shopping for a new home. When you're ready to sell, Ann's expert negotiation skills will ensure you get a fair price and hassle-free experience. Call Ann Adams today at 256-337-2625 or email annadamsrise@gmail.com.
Mike Rowe here with a quick question. Have you noticed cracks in your drywall, chimney, or exterior walls? I hope not, because if you have, they could be indications that you've got a much bigger problem with your foundation. That's where AFS comes in, a groundworks company. They can honestly assess your situation and create a plan to stabilize your foundation. Schedule your free inspection at afsrepair.com/row. And while you're there, check out my latest dirty job. It's a good one.
Licensed in all states where work is performed. See website for details.
You've seen those beautiful epoxy floors in a garage or carport area and have probably wondered, how can I get that done? Well, the answer is Lifetime Epoxy Floors. Lifetime Epoxy Floors is an A+ rated business with the Better Business Bureau and has been family owned for over 14 years. They do both residential and commercial applications and get most jobs done in a day. Lifetime Epoxy Floors' motto is, we love what we do, and it shows. Visit LifetimeEpoxyFloors.com to schedule a free estimate today and check them out on Facebook.
Your Fox 54 weather brought to you by Tellini's Italiano.
Clear and quiet all across the Tennessee Valley. Low temperatures going to be falling into the low 70s. Heading into our Tuesday, another warm afternoon with high temperatures reaching the mid and upper 90s. Few isolated showers possible in the afternoon. I'm Fox 54 meteorologist Emily Owen on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Your Fox 54 weather only on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone. Want to save some money?
I can take money and I can make it into more money.
Just check out our zone deals online at 977ESPN.com. We are 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Really appreciate Chris Blair hopping in and now heading on his break. We don't have a whole lot of time to spend on this story, but something tells me we'll dive into this a little bit more tomorrow. We're a couple of months away from football season, as Chris accurately told us right there, now that he's on summer vacation. Well, Florida State quarterback Tommy Castellanos has no problem playing Alabama. He doesn't see Nick Saban on the other sideline. So says, yes, he says with an interview with On 3, I'm excited. I've dreamed of playing Alabama, but they don't have Nick Saban. I just don't see them stopping me, end quote.
Where did he play last year?
Boston College. And now he is a Seminole.
Walking around awful bold now, aren't we?
Yeah. All those games they won last year.
Puff up those chests. Two wins, I think. I think they were 2-win teams.
I don't see Bobby Bowden either. Do you?
I just don't see them stopping me. Well, we have hit the stop sign. We will be at Woody Anderson Ford tomorrow. Come on by. We'd love to see you in the showroom. Love to see what cars are in the showroom tomorrow as well. Come on now. Yeah, we'll have that cam working as well on the YouTube page.
WCZN, Union Grove, Huntsville, Alabama. 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
The measure of a team is shown in summers like this. When the chips are down and the games are close. The 2020